In case you are still struggling trading Forex, I want you to try this forgotten MSNR trading strategy that actually works. So today we're going to use 2 trades for examples, and I'm going to show you step by step on how to trade this. Right, so we're going to do this breakdown together. Right, we're going to do for GBP USD, we're also going to do for GBP NZD. So I want you to pay attention to the details. Okay, so in order for us to do this in a more understanding way, I want us to start with GBP NZD and we use a plain chart. So the first thing that I want to do is we need to check the higher time frame. Why? Because it is our higher time frame that is going to show us whether we are going to buy or we are going to sell. Okay, so what we need to do is we're going to cut price to the previous day, because in order for us to do this we need to check the daily time frame. Okay, so these trades were taken on Wednesday. All right, and so let's dive right in. So what we want to do is we'll go to the daily time frame first. So on the daily time frame, we want to look for a market structure rejection. Okay, so first we need to identify our key levels. Key levels are very important. So if you want to learn about key levels, I'll urge you to watch my video. There's a video on the channel which is the forgotten alchemist trading strategy. Go and watch that video. You are going to understand key levels better. All right, so for the purpose of this video, let me show you exactly what key levels look like. So this is a key level. So we need an A-shaped formation. So for example, if we have this is a buy. Let's say this is a buy candle and this is a sell candle. So buy and a sell candle forms the A shape, while sell and buy candle forms the V shape. So this is exactly what I mean. So this is a buy candle and this is a sell candle. So these two candles forms the A shape, while these two candles form the V shape. If we go to the line chart, you are going to understand this better. So let me give you an hint on this. So let's do this together. All right, that's A shape. This is what? V shape. This is what? V shape. Okay, and this is V shape. Okay, this is V shape, MSNR, which is support and resistance. This is A shape and this is V shape. So just to give you an example of what I mean, this is exactly what it means. So if we go to the line chart, you will see it clearly. You see that the areas, the zones that we marked looks nothing less or short than the A and the V shape formations, right? So that's exactly what we want to use for our key levels. So the next question might be, what time frame are we going to use this for? Now this depends on you and your trading style. Okay, but for this particular breakdown, we are going to be using the daily, 4 hours, and probably the 1 hour time frame. And of course, when we move on, I'm going to show you why we did not use a specific time frame or why we're using a specific time frame. Okay, so what we see here, imagine that you came to the market and you see this. All right, so on this particular day, I came to the market and I saw this. I don't think this was here. Can we check? Permit me, let's check the trades again so that we confirm the day. We just want to confirm the day. This is 21st on Wednesday. And of course, then obviously we're going to cut this out. The reason why we're cutting that out is so that you can see it real time. All right, because by so doing, you are going to have a better understanding of the chart. All right, so the next thing that I want to do is this. In order for us to know the direction of our trend, of our trade, we need to understand the storyline. Okay, so I will not go deep in depthly on storyline in this video, but peradventure you want me to make a video on storylines, just let me know in the comment section below. Meanwhile, don't hesitate to also subscribe to the channel and check the video description to join my free Telegram channel as well. Okay, so let's go right in. So as you can see, this is our, of course, this is a gap. Okay, so we are not going to talk much about this yet, because you see, we have, this is the CFD chart. So usually the CFD chart has a whole lot of differences. Each broker, instead, for example, we have Oanda, we have Forex.com, we have FXCM and the rest. So for Forex pairs, I actually use Forex.com, but because I want to explain this to you in detail, that's why we are using Oanda. Okay, Oanda, so that you can have an understanding. So if we go to another chart, let's assume that we go to this particular one. Let me show you Forex.com. You will notice something. All right, where's the day? Ouch. Okay, the day should be somewhere here. Okay, this is it. All right, I guess this is it. Okay, yes, this is it. So you'll notice a difference here between these two candles. So look at, I want you to pay keen attention. Can we remove this so that you pay attention? Can we remove this so you pay attention? Okay, look at the charts very well. All right, this is Forex.com and this is Oanda. Look at the Oanda, look at the gap, and look at the Forex.com. You see, so this is why I like using Forex.com for my analysis. However, don't worry, all you need to do is to have an understanding of it. Okay, if we go to the line chart, for example, you will see that the gap did not show on the line chart. So these are that tweak you can use, especially if you are a beginner. You can use the line chart to mark out your key levels. So of course, let's go back in. So the next thing we want to identify is rejection. So what do we see? We see that daily rejects daily. So this is a daily key zone and this is a daily rejection. So when we have a daily rejection rejecting a daily zone, then we should be anticipating a bearish storyline in this case. All right, and there's a way we can confirm that. So to confirm that, we'll need to go to the 4-hour time frame. The 4-hour time frame will give us the confirmation that we need. Do we have our confirmation? Of course we have our confirmation, but a better confirmation would have been this level. However, notwithstanding, we also have the same thing I just explained. Look at this. This is a gap candle. All right, this is a gap candle. So let's not go down there. Let's go to the line chart. So on the line chart, you can see that we have a little bit of low, swing low right there. So what we do, so we mark this as our break. So we have our break of structure right there. So which means we have a bearish storyline being confirmed. But on this particular day, which was Monday, we did not see an entry here. Why? Because this storyline was still infant. It was still being formed. All right, now also on this particular day that we're going to be taking our trade, which is Wednesday, I actually did not see a perfect storyline, but there was a clue. And what was the clue? I actually saw a 4-hour rejection. So this is 4-hour rejecting both the daily and the 4-hour gap SNR. All right, there's what we call the open close, which is OCL, Malaysian Support and Resistance. All right, so this is exactly what I actually saw. Okay, so we need to play price. Of course, I'm not going to take my trade until London session. So obviously London session should be around this zone, this London session. Okay, so we're going to play price right now onto the next day. Okay, so this is the beginning of the next day. This is the beginning of the next day. So these two candles, we have the Asian session right there. And of course, I've said this in my last video that I don't trade the Asian session, and you shouldn't trade the Asian session except if Asian session is your daytime. But if you are trading that, you need to trade a pair. Of course, NZD pairs can move during the Asian session and NZ, but it has to be paired with probably a JPY pair. Okay, so we're not talking about Asian session today, so let's go straight. So what we need to do at this point, I already saw my rejection, which is my 4-hour rejection. So what I needed was a confirmation of my 4-hour storyline. So in this case, our draw on liquidity ought to be this low. at least. All right, we need to have our draw on liquidity here at least this low, because we have a fresh key zone right here. Of course, if we have a 4-hour storyline, usually the 1 hour serves as roadblock. If we have a daily storyline, the 4 hours serves as roadblocks. If we have the weekly storyline, the daily serves as roadblock. Of course, we're not going to talk about roadblocks today, so maybe subsequently we are going to do that. By the way, in case you want to know, or in case you are interested, I'm actually running a mentorship, and I'm actually giving access to the training for those of you who might be interested. I want you to check the Telegram channel. All right, the slot is limited. I actually want a few people to get in, so that at least I can focus more on those few people, that by the end of 3 weeks to 4 weeks, by then you should already become a profitable trader, because you are going to meet like-minded trader right there, and also you are going to learn exactly how I trade, and I will be sending setups as well on a daily basis. So literally we're trading together, and we're going to be doing the reviews together. Okay, in case you are interested, check the video description and send your payment, and when you are done, just send me your receipt and you are good to go. Okay, so the next thing that I want to do is very important. Remember, we already identified what our key level. All right, we already identified our this is the 4-hour rejection level. This was where price was rejecting on the 4 hours. All right, why is this? What's happening there? Okay, I guess that's the reason. So let's ouch. Okay, I just want us to, okay, so this is where the 4 hours is rejecting from. So do we have a 1 hour confirmation of our storyline? Obviously, look at that, we have our break of structure right there. So automatically we are looking for sales. Okay, and of course we have some liquidity level here. Look at liquidity right there, and let me put the pawn. All right, for those of you who play chess, right, we have this Asian high, of course, is, so look at this, all of these are what's it called now? These are just liquidity. Okay, and if we pull this, you see that is actually a trend line liquidity as well. Okay, so having this, we have all our confluences. The next thing we need to do is identify our key zones. Where are we going to sell from? Okay, so if we look at all of this, everything here have been mitigated. All right, let me show you. These have been used, and of course we wouldn't want to take this trade here, because this is Asian session. Okay, and look at this zone have been used, this zone have been used. All right, so this is the only available zone that is there, especially after the inducement was taken. So what do? We mark that out. All right, now there are two ways we can approach this. We can either go to the 15-minute time frame and look for a confirmation, or stay with our 1 hour time frame. Of course, there are more to it than what I just said. There are more to it than this statement I just made. On the 15-minute, there are more confirmations that we could get also. All right, there's also what we can get on the 30 minutes if we go right there. So at this point, what I actually did was to put my entry right there and set a 10 pips stop loss. All right, my stop loss was just 10 pips right there. Maybe I think it was around 10.5 pips, and of course the target can be this low. Okay, but I think I targeted around 1 to 7, right, this low. Okay, because the reason is this: we don't want to be too greedy, guys. We don't want to be too greedy. It is very important that we understand what we are doing. Okay, so I think my stop loss was around there. Okay, so let's play price and see exactly how it goes. So while we play price, let me reduce this so that we can enjoy the bar replay. Okay, so why it's being played, I want you to enjoy, watch exactly how this thing is playing out. So remember, by this time London session are not open. London session will be opening somewhere right there. So let's play this price. So let's push, okay, because that's where London session will be opening. So let's see exactly how it works. Okay, so like I said again, guys, in case you really want to join my mentorship, feel free and reach out to check the video description. Of course, we have been tagged. Look at that. That was a nice reaction right there. All right, so in case you really want to join my mentorship, check the video description below, of course, and there are a whole lot of things you will learn. Believe me, right? Your trading is about to be turned around. There's going to be a turnaround of your trading. Okay, so I believe this was exactly how I placed the trade. Look at that, take profit have been hit, and that was actually enough for me. All right, and of course this was the overall level where we might want to look for entries, but we don't have to wait for price to get there first. Okay, look at that. That's exactly what I entered, how I entered my trade on that particular day right here. Okay, can you see it? The same thing. So I'm literally sure. Oh, I won't think this one was around this one was around 1 to 8 risk to reward ratio. Imagine one trade passing your pro firm challenge. That's insane, guys. One trade passing your pro firm challenge. So I hope you understand that. So let's analyze another one so that you can have a better understanding. So we are going to analyze the GBP USD, and of course this is quite easy, but there was a little what's it called now, there was a little issue that I had with this particular trade, which I'm going to show you why. I'm not saying I lost the trade. I did not. Of course, obviously you can see that as 1 to 5 risk to reward ratio, but I will show you why in a moment. So let's go to our new chart. Before we go there, please can you just smash the like button for me in case you have not done that? I will appreciate it if you can like and leave a comment below. By the way, guys, I'm on Twitter, X. Please check the video description and follow me on Twitter because you are going to be learning a whole lot. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is this. So remember, we have this coming up on that same Wednesday, right? All right, I think that was the same Wednesday I took the trade. So let's go there. So first, what do we do? So I'm giving you time to think. Tell me in the comment section below, what do we do first? Yes, if you said we'll go to the daily time frame first, then you are correct. So we've gone to the daily time frame. What do we do again? All right, if you say we're looking for a rejection, then you are correct. However, look at this. This was the day we took the trade, which was that Wednesday, so we have to remove that. Okay, the reason is simply because so that you will see exactly how I break down this trade step by step. Meanwhile, if you are enjoying this, let me know. Okay, and if you want more of these videos, also let me know below. All right, so this was exactly how I came to the chart, and I was anticipating that price would do its things. So there are two things here we need to pay attention to. The first one is this: you need to pay attention. If you have been busy, if you have been doing other things before, then it's high time that you start paying attention to what I'm showing you right now. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is we need to ask ourselves the question, where is price coming from and where is price going to? So this is where price is coming from and this is where price is going to. So what do we do? What are we doing first? I'm giving you 2 seconds, 1 and 2. If you said we're marking the key levels, then you are correct. All right, so we'll mark our key levels right there. Okay, and we are mark our key levels. So these are the closest key levels that we have. Right now, the next thing is, what is the next one we need to do? We need to confirm our storyline. And remember, this is daily. What time frame are we going to use to confirm the storyline? The 4 hours. Correct. So the 4 hours time frame is what we're going to use to confirm our storyline. So two things here: we can mark this and we can mark this. The reason why we are doing this is so that we can understand the people that are involved in the market. All right, so this was the bullish reaction. So did we get a break of structure? Of course not. We did not really get a break of structure on this particular day. All right, this is the start of the day and the ending of the day and the start of another day. So as you can see, this was the candle that pushed price. Of course, if we look at use the 4-hour storyline, we understand that we have a zone right here. Look at that. We have a break of structure right there. Let's see, can we confirm? Of course, we actually did. Look at the break of structure there. What does that imply? It implies that we are bullish. But let's go back to our 4 hours. I just used that to explain things to you. So on the 4-hour time frame, what are we looking at? Okay, on the 4 hours time frame, what exactly was I actually looking at on this particular day? Okay, so the first thing that I also saw that price rejected from this key level. You see how powerful this is? So we have a key level, and at the same time we had a break of structure right there. So at this point, I was actually looking and anticipating for price to do its thing, so we can actually mark the key levels available. We have a key level there, and we have a key level right there. Now you might be asking, are we going to be using all the key levels? No. All right, don't get me wrong, we're not going to be using all the key levels, and this is why we are learning this. Okay, so let's play price and see exactly what we've got. All right, so this is the beginning of a new day. This is the beginning of a new day, the beginning of a new day. So at this point I was actually on the higher time frame, which is on the daily time frame. Okay, I was actually anticipating that price will sell. Of course, price decided to do its thing, and remember the Asian session, these are Asian sessions. All right, so you might be asking, how did I know that these two candles are Asian session? Of course, the first two 4-hour candles, which is the first 8 hours of the day, is usually the Asian session. So at this point, I was actually expecting a sell, and of course this is also a key level, but look at that, price traded through it. Okay, so probably we're just waiting for a retracement setup. Okay, we're waiting for a retracement setup, and of course we also have another level right there, but the price get there. Let's find out. So at this point, what we're actually anticipating, we are waiting for price to give us a break of structure. At least that was what I was looking for on GBP USD on that particular day. I was anticipating that price would give me a nice break of structure to the downside. On this day, we actually got a rejection on the 4 hours. So if we go to the 4 hours, I believe there should be a rejection. All right, you can see it right there. You can see that we've got a nice rejection on the 4 hours. So what do? We look for what? A break of structure. So looking for break of structure where 1 hour time frame. Okay, so let's play price and see. So, and of course there was no major break on the 1 hour. Let me show you why I said so. Of course there was a minor break here, but for me this was actually a valid break of structure because it's a V shape. Look at that, you see it? So you see that it's a V shape, so it was actually valid for me. So let's play price and see exactly what we've got. Okay, so we'll play price and see if we had that break. Of course we had that break, so automatically I was actually anticipating that price can do its thing. And where was I looking out for? I was actually looking out for price to do its thing around this level. Of course, let's play the price and see exactly what we've got. So the next thing I was looking for is I was actually looking for inducement, but did I really get the inducement? Let's find out. So at this point we'll play price and see exactly what we've got. So this a key level, for example. Look at that. So that's a key level. Can we remove that for now? That's a key level, and of course we have an inducement right here. We have an inducement right there as well. Okay, this was our inducement. Okay, so at this point we can check start. Let's go to the 30 minutes. Look at that, we had the inducement right there. And look at the 15 minutes. What do we have? We have this as inducement as well, right? So we'll play price and see exactly what price is given to us. Okay, so can we check? This is let's check the 4 hours. Sorry. Okay, of course we are still intact. All right, we are still intact. This is what's it called? New York session. Of course, at this point I did not really get my entries yet, so we are still waiting. So you see, price is reacting from where? A key level, right? Price is reacting from a key level. So can we actually take our entries here? Of course, but at the same time we can look for further confirmations on the 15 minutes chart. So let's play price and see exactly what we've got. Okay, please, I want you to drop your, what do you think? Just drop it below. Okay, let's play price. All right, so this when, so we are in early Thursday. So on Thursday, what are we looking at? What are we looking at? So this Wednesday, remember, let me show you. Did I even mark that? I didn't. Did I? Okay, I guess. Okay, 1 hour. Sorry guys, 1 hour time frame. So look at that. Look at this key level. That's exactly where price reacted from, this key level. All right. Of course, this was on a Thursday, right? That's on a Thursday. And look at that. Now I'm just showing you how important these things are. These zones are very, very important for our trading. Okay, so look at that. Let's say we take this trade. All right, that's 5 pips. Of course, you can look for the higher time frame roadblocks, of course, which could be this zone, because that's a fresh zone, right? That's actually a fresh zone. Okay, so price. Sorry about that. Okay, where is this thing? Why is this thing not working now? Okay, let's check the daily, the 4 hours, not daily, guys. All right, so on the 4 hours, what can we see? Remember this zone? Yes. Let's check the 1 hour time frame. Remember this? So now, why are we taking this? Why are we taking profit here? Remember, I said earlier, if you rewind the video, please, I want you to watch this video like at least 2 times. If you rewind this video, you will notice I said on the 4 hour time frame we'll get like our roadblock on the 1 hour. All right, on the daily we'll get our roadblock on the 4 hour. Roadblock is like where price might likely react from. Okay, so this is exactly what we have. Also, I also had my eye here. I was looking at this level because this was also a valid key zone on the 4 hour time frame. Do you understand? Okay, so on the 1 hour time frame, what can we see? On the 1 hour time frame, let me show you the, did I even mark for Wednesday, which is the, okay, not here. Okay, this is, let's go to the 4 hours. Let's mark the Asian session. All right, so these 2 candles are the Asian session. All right, these 2 candles are the Asian session right there. Okay, so you see how price, all right, there's something that is called I don't want to go into that, the strong high and strong low. Okay, if you understand the concept of strong high and strong low, you'll be able to know when to use the 50% of the Asian session, or when you need the Asian session to be taken out. So at this point, look at this. What are we going to look out for? If we have a reaction, remember when we started, we deduced that our overall bias is what is bullish, right? So this trade that we just took was just a minor retracement. Did I say that earlier? Of course. Okay, this is a perfect key zone reaction. Okay, and on the 1 hour, did we get any break? Of course, I already explained that and why we picked that, and price consolidated for a while, and of course we got our entry there, and at this point we can start looking for another entry opportunity. Okay, how do we do this? The same process. Look at that, 4 hours rejecting 4 hours. So this is obviously a 4-hour storyline. Of course, the daily storyline is still bullish, coupled with a 4-hour storyline, which means we might have momentum in the market, right? So immediately we identify the 4-hour storyline. These lines are too much now for you, right? So let's remove this so that you can have a better understanding of what I'm doing right here. Okay, ouch, sorry about that. Let's go again. Okay, all right, let's do that again. So we have the 4 hours. This is the 4 hours, right? 4 hours does what? Reject 4 hours. So we need to look for a 1 hour manipulation or a 1 hour break of structure, but we have both in this case, so we're not going into that in detail. So we have that, and we have the break of structure right there. The break of structure actually happened here. If we go to the line chart, you can see it right there. Okay, so that's exactly where we have the break of structure. So at this point, we can start looking for our entry. Of course, there are different entry models, but I will not go into details in this video. Probably subsequent videos, I'm going to do that. All right, so what we'll do is this: we'll place our entries right there, and one just 10 pips stop loss, and we're okay. And where are we going to target? We can target the 4 hour fresh zones. So where are the fresh zones? So this is, for example, this is a fresh zone, the 4 hour. Of course, this was a fresh zone, but remember, check where we are coming from, all right, and where we are going to. So obviously all of these lows are weak lows. Yes, they are actually weak lows. Okay, because we have a break. Yeah, look at that. Okay, we have a break, a minor inducement within, and obviously this becomes a weak high. So definitely our take profit can get right there. We can go there, or even this high. So let's play price and enjoy the chart. So like I said, please smash the like button and don't hesitate to subscribe to the channel, right? So you can see the momentum, and that's exactly how the week really closed. So imagine, okay, remember this was our entry. Okay, imagine, look at that. Of course, obviously I've done more than this, so I really hope that this is well detailed explanation of how I look at the market. In case you really want to learn more in details, you want to learn this in detail, right? Like I said, I'm currently accepting students, so check the video description for details. Okay, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate you. If you watched it this time, then it means you are very serious in your trading. Okay, so thank you so much. See you on the next one.